waiting for it to start. Okay, Gigi.
Okay.
How did World War II affect you?
Well, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was 14 years old, and it had a terrible effect on all of us. It affected us mentally, and we were great shortages. What else? What?
How did your friends react to it?
Well, we all reacted the same way. Our lives were just dominated by the war, and all the people that had to go to war, and all of our classmates who went to war. Some died, and we were all just affected. And our aunts and uncles and grandparents and fathers, they had to go to war. A lot of fathers went to war, and that affected us financially too.
How was food like?
Food, well, sugar was rationed and coffee was rationed, and shoes were rationed and sugar was rationed, and many things that we just couldn't get because everything was going to the military.
I.e.,
gasoline, sugar,
food,
shoes. We could only have 2 pairs of shoes a year, and we got stamps for those. And clothing, and we didn't have class rings. We didn't because of the metal, and our yearbook was just a patched up thing because there was a paper shortage. I don't know why that would be.
Saying that, with that being said, that leaded on to my next question, which was, what kind of everyday items had to be rationed?
Well, sugar and coffee.
Yeah. Was your community affected in any big way?
Well, we had watched all those boys go off to war, and we were all affected. It just was a different atmosphere. And we didn't get very far from Norwood because we had no transportation. They had buses and things like that, but we didn't have many cars. I think you could get 4 gallons of gas a week. I think that was the rationing. Except if you worked in a defense plant, and there were lots of defense plants, and then you could get a little more to go to work. You could get enough to go to work and back, and that was it.
For a week.
Yeah. So that was definite.
Now, due to the war, how was the economy?
The economy really improved because we had been in a very, very bad depression, and there were lots of jobs, and lots of people came from other states to work in Ohio because we had a lot of defense plants, and a lot of people came from Appalachia, right here in Tennessee. The economy was really improving, and it was good.
So, and this isn't one of the questions. So, like, with the economy being good and people coming, I don't know how to word this, like, I'm not quite sure how to word this.
Did the town change?
Yeah, like, did the town change, like, more buildings?
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a lot more buildings in Norwood, where I lived, but in Cincinnati, they had lots of places to live. And Norwood was forever changed because a lot of people who came there stayed there and lived there forever. I mean, they're still there. Before that, it had been a very integrated town. Norwood is a town within a town. It's a town within Cincinnati. We had our own mayor and all that stuff, and so it changed the whole pattern of the town.
Okay. So, like, what would your personal history be? I mean, I know you weren't in a war, but I know that when you were a sophomore, years later, you met your husband, and I know that he flew a P-38.
Yes, I met my husband, and he was a pilot and flew P-38s, and he flew with Eddie Rickenbacker's Second World War squadron, which was a great honor. He flew 50 missions in Africa when Germany and Rommel were winning the war. So he was very lucky. He thinks his mother's prayers got him through the war.
I think I remember you telling me at one point he flew all the way from, I think,
England.
From England to Africa with one engine.
No, well, it wasn't one engine, but they got there and their parachutes had been all sabotaged. They had holes in all their parachutes. And he once flew over a bridge where there was an American Red Cross truck going across the bridge, and he said that he was going. It was not was marked not marked American, and the Germans and I suppose the Americans who sold trucks and things to use to fool the enemy, and he almost shot that. And he said he was shot at that ambulance. He said he was always glad that he didn't shoot at that anyway.
Like, I know with the war, I know the people that fought needed lots of medicine and stuff. So, did that really counteract with you?
No, that didn't have any real effect. People didn't go to doctors very much then. That was not. It wasn't like it is now, where people go to doctors and dentists. They didn't do that, so we weren't affected that way very much. The doctors were still in town, and that was fine. No, we weren't affected.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For doing this. Now you can get back to your daily programming.
Oh, get the kitty in here. She's sitting